Yo, yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Payoff Pitch presented by Fantasy Phenom. Hope you guys are having a cracking 4th of July, or had one, depending on when you're listening. If you're having a cracking one, you're probably not listening right now. But yeah, man, it was another good day overall. Profit here. I gotta shout out some winners real quick, man. This guy, DJ Ev is what he goes by in River. This dude has an 11-day win streak. He profited a band yesterday and won another GPP tonight. Killing it.
Share.
Dude, so that's what I'm saying. He is in River. If you guys need help, this dude has, and I give him, this is the most worthy guy of this streak, because I kid you not, he's in my DMs more than I am chicks on Tinder and everywhere else trying to learn the game of DFS, and I respect it tenfold, man. This dude is a true student. He does reverse engineering. He goes back and listens to videos 2-3 times, and he tells me his process, and he's like, bro, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? Like, this is what I'm coming up with. Where do you think I'm going? And I try to respond to everybody's. I do respond to everybody. I'll say that. So, if you guys need help, hit me, Mike, Jeremy, Theo. We got DFS Boogeyman in there. That guy knows his DFS, man. Hit all those guys up. In regards to baseball, of course, golf, everything else, there's other guys, but hit these guys up, and I guarantee you, DJ Ev will help you if you DM'd him too. He's got a process that has worked, and that's something we talk about so much, Mike, is you find something that works for you, and you stick with it. He said to me today, he's like, you know what, man, I found out I'm a cash player. So that's what I do. And that's perfect, and he's profiting.
Yeah, start a conversation, man. Find somebody you vibe with, you gel with. Start a conversation. That's what the community is all about. We're here providing a platform to talk with other people that not only share this hobby, but enjoy winning money and are doing it. So definitely do it. Finding the process is DFS.
Yep.
You start playing DFS because you're a sports fan. You realize that this is a game. You got to play the game, and you got to play the game the way it works for you. And every sport's different. You have to find that process, and I think you have to continue to refine that process so well. That's why the free roll contests are so perfect. Taking a step back every once in a while when you're on a bit of a losing streak and just playing for free to try and refine that process is huge. Baseball is a long season. We said it from the beginning. You're going to have to roll with the punches in order to really come out successful in the end.
Yep. And then just to shout out another couple winners here, because I want to give them their credit. Jaguar Lewis Young, finished first and second in a 3-entry max 100-person tournament today, so shout out to him.
That's just greedy, man.
And then a River user by the name of Rizzler, I believe is Brandon Joseph. If I have the name wrong, I'm sorry. He has a little 3-day win streak going as well. And another example, man, he's like, you know what, I have a strategy. I find that the lower entry tournaments work well for me. Some guys do better in high entry. It's a mindset. He's like, I find that those work well for me, so I stick to it. And it just goes back to it. You find your strategy and you stick to it, man. Keep toying with what works. It's a long season. Like Mike said, play free. DJ, man, he played like 2 weeks of free contests. And he saw the scores, and Sydney said to him one day, he's like, bro, you know how much money you would have won playing that in a money thing? And he's like, all right, I got it down, man. I got it. And he starts entering in 11-day win streak. So
Utilize the free rolls, guys. I mean, it's a competition. Obviously, it's a friendly competition, but it's also a way to refine your process. Maybe put like an experimental line in the free roll every day instead of your so-called best line that you think going into the day.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's get into our ace of the day, man. Yo, Mike, we nailed pitching again today. For those of you
Jimbo
that were in the lock show, all 5 of these guys we mentioned play or don't attack. And sure enough, the 2 that we were on the most was Jimmy Nelson and Jameson Tyone. If you played those 2 together on DK, I don't want to say it didn't matter, but you had a ton of wiggle room because John Lester was chalk and cash at 85% and 60% owned in GPPs, and he did terrible. So just pairing Nelson and Tyone left you far and ahead of the field. Would have been awesome. We mentioned, so Kyle Gibson mentioned this in the lock show. He was told today if he did not have a good start, he was done. He was done in the majors. He was going back down to the minors. Sure enough, goes out, puts up a very respectable performance. Highest value play on DK, second highest on FanDuel. J Happ against the hapless Yankees.
They were struggling today, man.
And then Jose Urena continues to pitch respectably.
Yep. Remember I called you on the phone the other day. I was like, I'm trying to shop Lucroy big time in my season-long league. I was like, nobody wants him. Trying to sell or,
just take what you can
sell him. Yeah. I ended up trading him for Jimmy Nelson and a first-round pick in my Dynasty League. So shout out to you, sir, for doing that for me.
Wow.
Picked up Wilson Ramos, and we're good. But yeah, so Jimmy Nelson, he's got some good stuff. Again, we talked about it last night. Always been a ground ball pitcher with a sinker, and he's starting to put some breaking pitches together, getting some swing and misses, kind of benefiting from this fly ball revolution, keeping the ball down. And he continued to put up good numbers today. Struck out 8 Orioles, right? They played the Orioles, right?
Yep.
Did not give up a run. 6 hits in 7 innings. Him and Tyone were the top 2 scoring pitchers on both sites, I believe. Yes. Yep. So that was kind of the pairing to have as long as you did well with your bats. I think you didn't really need to find salary savings, so I don't think you really needed Kyle Gibson, who was the best price per dollar pitcher on DK, but it's always worth noting, if you're trying to pay up for pitching, trying to find that guy that's going to give you a good value.
Absolutely. And then nailed the batters too, man. I think we're starting to find our groove in MLB, man. Talked about attacking James Shields. Sure enough, 2 A's make the top 5 batters on the day. Yonder Alonso, Franklin Barreto. Talked about Eric Thames. This was my gut play, man. I talked about him on the lock show. I said, you know what, this dude is very emotional. Obviously, right? He goes to the manager, says, I just need a break. Took a break, gets a home run yesterday. Just something told me, all right, he got that home run. He's back on track. He gets Ubaldo today. Just it's gonna happen. I expected a home run, and he goes out and hits 2. Way too cheap at 4K. So that was the play right there. And then Byron Buxton didn't make that. That wasn't a guy that was on our radar. I don't think he was on anyone's. But
I did like the Twins today, but they're not playing Byron Buxton.
And then we talked about McCutchen, man. We said if there's one guy we're going to play against Mark Leader, who we didn't want to stack against, it was McCutchen, who continues to stay hot.
Yes, he is very scorching hot right now. I don't believe he hit that home run off Leader. I think that came late in the game.
No.
But or he had 2 home runs today, so maybe one of those was off of him. I don't really remember exactly, but yeah, with Eric Thames, man, you talked about him being in a slump. Obviously, he was in a huge slump, striking out a ton. Now he's got 3 home runs in his last 3 games, but he had another walk today. You talk about guys in slumps that are walking. It's a very, very good sign. So I think you can look for him going forward. You can't, and then McCutchen, you just gotta have to ride this, man. Dude's locked in.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think that is he still on the block? You think for the Pirates?
I think his trade value increases. I don't think the Pirates are going anywhere.
No, I think you're right. I think they definitely want to get rid of him.
I think they're gonna.
Good for him.
This is just giving them a king's ransom in return right now if he continues this.
Yeah, Buxton was that value play. We'll probably continue to see this, man. Top 5 having a guy that gives you 10x on DraftKings every day. So it's important to notice the importance of value. Even if you're got enough salary in the world to pay up at Aaron Judge at every position, you got to consider
it's okay to leave
some value, especially if you're stacks.
It's okay to leave salary on the table in baseball.
For sure.
So.
Yep, I'm bummed. I went Tris Davis over Yonder Alonso today as far as the price in that stack. I did have some Barreto. I did have some Maxwell, a catcher, but no Alonso.
With you, man.
3-game early slate, man. How was your fourth, man?
It was good.
Good day.
Headed over to a friend's house about 11 o'clock my time after the lock show. I was the barbecue person, so
Same.
That's what I do, man. I'm a barbecuer. Got to drink beer all day, took a little swim, ate some food. It was a good day. It was nice to not look at my lines all day on DraftKings, man. I left my phone on the side of the pool, and I was like, I'm not.
I could kind of tell because I kept getting random text messages being like, "I'm done. Whoa, I'm winning. I'm done. Hey, I'm winning again." It's like, yeah, I could tell you're just looking at it every once in a while. But yeah, I was manning the grill myself, cooking up some hot dogs and hamburgers. You know, the good stuff. I wanted to get the smoker going, get some ribs, but I got a little chainsaw happy today.
Mike and his chainsaw.
Didn't have time.
Real quick, Mike, shout out to you. Sam Dizzle on YouTube said that design was dope for the hitters and pitchers. So shout out to you for that.
Yo. Yeah, man, I got to get back and look at this YouTube chat. I can't see it.
Oh, that's right. You can pull it up on your phone.
True that. Yo, Sam, thanks for the shout out, man. I love it. And any recommendations or feedback is greatly,
appreciated.
Welcome, yeah.
All right, dude. Well, we got a 3-game early, a 12-game main loaded slate tomorrow on DraftKings and FanDuel. Early slate. We'll throw out 2 pitchers we're playing, 2 we're attacking. Obviously, just for those of you that play DraftKings and need to. And one of them comes from this game, Marco Estrada. This dude is incredibly cheap on DraftKings at $6,700. We talk about pricing and how important it is. This is mad disrespectful to this guy. Pricing him around the same price as a Mike Pelfrey. He historically does well versus the Yankees. We mentioned that half their lineup is AAA. Marco Estrada for $6,700. You know what? I hope that Michael Pineda is chalk tomorrow, because chalky Pineda is never good Pineda, and I will gladly take the other side in this game.
I will be chalk. You look at this, he's probably got the better play. It looks like the better play, but like you said, Estrada at that price is definitely worth a second look. It is a struggle to pick Estrada. Last 6 starts, he has a 9.1 ERA.
Yep,
15 walks in his last 3. But I do encourage you guys, if you're playing this early slate, to go check out my Twitter. I posted an article from Baseball Prospectus, and this isn't like your measly 2 paragraphs. It's a very well-written piece on Marco Estrada, on why he's been struggling this month and what he has changed, really. Because you look at Estrada, never really was a strikeout guy. He was giving up a lot of fly balls, and he was trying to change that. And now he comes in at a top 20 in K percentage in baseball, where he was outside the top 40 in the 2 years prior. So he made a lot of changes to his mechanics, and they talk a lot about that as to maybe why that is. Those mechanical changes, now that it's halfway through the year, are starting to catch up to him a bit. So, worth a read. I think he's definitely a buy low candidate on this 3-game slate, where I like to try to find different plays. Especially the Yankees, put up 1 run today, and it was a measly run, as is.
Typical.
So.
Yeah. So I'm with you, man. I think Pineda's chalk. I mean, you can look at playing Pineda. Personally, I don't want to play him if he's chalk, just because I've seen how he gets blown up. He's not been playing extremely well over his last couple starts. I do know he's better at home. His last home start was not good. And the Jays, even though they are cold, they're not a team I necessarily want to attack.
I'm indifferent about Pineda. I'm not going to say go out and definitely don't play him, because I know what he can do on any given day. But at the same time, I have been watching those starts like you just mentioned, and it hasn't been looking ideal. Now, this was like a full slate. I would definitely be fading him. But on a 3-game slate, the only reason that I think there is to fade him is the fact that everybody else is going to want to play him. So, yeah, I think going on the other side of this matchup with Estrada, who's been, if not twice as bad as Pineda, maybe worse, could be a worthy play at 6,700.
Worthy pivot, yeah. Looking at Chicago, Tampa, man. This is a place I'm looking to game stack. I think both guys are very worthy of attacking.
Yeah. Who is it? Snell and Lackey, right? We talked about Lackey last night.
Yep, we were on a Tampa stack against Lackey, and then they did that okie doke on us, and Tampa ended up being a good stack anyways against Leicester. But I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm going right back to Tampa tomorrow, man, against Lackey. Love me some Logan Morrison, Steven Souza Jr., Tim Beckham hit a home run today, Corey Dickerson. I can go 5 deep. Maybe Trevor Plouffe plays tomorrow. He's minimum salary on FanDuel. So, and then Blake Snell,
bombs.
Yeah, as much as this pains
Find
me,
the bombs.
Man, as much of this pains me, I love Blake Snell, but just stack against him tomorrow, man. Chris Bryant, Wilson Contreras, Addison Russell is too cheap. Javier Baez, you can get the Cubs for mad cheap tomorrow. I like Hap better from the left side, so he wouldn't make it. But yeah, I think this is your game stack on the 3-game slate. The only other one I would look at is the Oakland side in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have you found a good place to look up day versus night splits?
Yeah, Fangraphs.
Really? Because I haven't been able to find it. Using their splits tool?
Mm-hmm. So if you go to the splits leaderboard, I'll show you how to do it after. You can actually look up by situation. So you can look up month, you can look up day, night. That's what, remember the other day I was looking at...
situational hitting.
Yeah, Houston was terrible in day games on the road or at home. So
cool. Yeah, I definitely want to look into that. Now, Snell, first game back against Pittsburgh, a team that has been anemic as far as offense recently.
Cubs.
No, Snell in his first start was
gotcha. Okay.
First start back was against Pittsburgh.
Yep.
He walked I think he walked 5, gave up 6 runs in that game, and that's a team that hasn't been doing anything. Cubs versus lefties aren't really that bad, and if he's gonna put people on base, you don't want to do that in this against this team, man. So
yeah, I'm with you, man. I think, like I said, game stack here. Wilson Contreras is 3,300 on FanDuel, 36 on DraftKings. That might be my catcher of the day right there. So
yeah.
And then for those of you again on DraftKings, I got to play 2 pitchers. Sonny Gray is that other guy I play tomorrow. Love this matchup. Dude has been playing amazing as of late. He gets the spacious ballpark of Oakland against a Chicago team that does not do well on the road versus righties, striking out almost 23% of the time. Average against of under 250, ISO of 160, WOBA right around 300, and they hit a ton of ground balls. So
I think Gray is my favorite pitcher on the slate.
That's my number 1 tomorrow.
Just played the White Sox in Chicago, went 7, gave it 4 hits, 1 earned, was a home run to Melky Cabrera, who also hit a home run today. So maybe you look at that. Did strike out 7. Ground ball pitcher, been that way his whole career. He's a sinker baller. His slider has been his out pitch. It's got a K rate of 59%, a swinging strike rate of 25%. I wouldn't classify the White Sox as a great breaking ball hitting team, except for Melky Cabrera. He does hit curves and breaking pitch as well. So I think you go right back there. And, he followed up that start in Chicago with his last start against Atlanta. Went 8 innings.
Yep.
So he's ground ball pitcher, K upside against a team that strikes out a ton versus righties, but do have some power. So. And then I think you can go after Mike Pelfrey.
This hurts me to say it, man, because you guys have heard me say I don't stack against Pelfrey, but Lowry, Alonso, and Davis. Alonso might be chasing points a little bit. Will he repeat what he did today? Probably not, but it's still a good matchup regardless. Chris Davis, I like him a lot, and then Lowry from the left side, man. 3,600 is cheap for him at second base. Matt Joyce leading off is a good play as well at 3K, so you can get an A stack relatively cheap tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Joyce more of chasing than Alonso. I don't know. Joyce has been hitting bombs recently. His price hasn't really has been reflected of that as of late. We'll see what happens if he.
I can definitely tell you that people will play more Alonso than Joyce tomorrow. People see
that
2-home run game.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think if everyone's on DraftKings is going to be playing Pineda and Sonny Gray as their two pitchers in this slate, they're going to need to find some value. And I mean,
oh, that's true.
Talking about a guy that has given up home runs, and Joyce has been hitting them as of late, so I could see it. I'm not saying he's going to be like chalk or anything, but
no, I'm with you. That makes sense.
If he's leading off at 3K.
So, again, guys, we're looking at my personal two favorite are Gray and Estrada. I just think Estrada's way too low priced for what he can do. There's risk involved, obviously, but I like the matchup to get on track back tomorrow. You can look at Pineda, again, because he's chalk. I'm going to take a risk and fade him. Me, personally, I won't have Pineda. And then I'm going to attack Snell and Lackey. I'll have some of Oakland, but I'm probably going to go mostly Cubs and Tampa tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we agree on all statements with right there.
So, on to the main.
Moving on.
On to the main. Washington, do they play Thursday? Because I got to check now, because they're going for a sweep if not. They threw out their B lineup today, and we're like, here, Mets, we'll give you a game. Nope, they're going for the sweep tomorrow. And same exact situation, Mike. Last series they played, it was Roark and DeGrom going for the sweep, and I believe Washington swept. DeGrom pitched well, but didn't get the win because of the bullpen. I could be wrong. That's just what I remember.
The story.
Yeah. Both these bullpens are terrible, man, but it's so great, dude, hearing, because I love it, because I'm not even really a Nats fan. I'm a Harper fan. And because I have the bets with these Mets fans, they come up and they're like, your bullpen's ass, and then the other day, Mets give up that walk-off run to Ryan Rayburn, so.
I'm looking at it. They did win that game. The last game at least that DeGrom played. DeGrom's has 3 starts versus Washington this year, so.
And he's done well on all of them.
Yes, he has. He's been pitching out of his mind in his last 4 starts. After a 2-start stumble, he has exceeded 30 DraftKings points in all 4. And if you go prior to that 2-start stumble, it's 6 out of 8, 30 plus. Washington's no slouch of an opponent. I think DeGrom, this is his first start after getting snubbed as an all-star, in my opinion.
Can he still make the final vote? No, that's not for pitchers, huh? That's only for hitters. That's right.
No. So I think he got snubbed at least. Maybe that plays into it. I think it's an interesting play. Again, 28 Ks and 3 starts versus Atlanta.
You remember versus Washington?
He is much... Washington, right. Sorry. Why do I do that all the time? What's wrong with me? He is much better at home versus on the road. 196 at home, 259 on the road. So, and his one start, probably the poorest start against Washington was on the road. He gave up 2 home runs, which struck out 12 in that game. So I think at 12-3, it's worthy of a fade. But at the same time, again, 4 straight 30 plus. That was Philly, San Francisco, Washington, and Chicago.
Yep. So in consideration, but not the guy. I agree with Mike. Worthy fade for the price, but he has been pitching lights out, man. Almost a 30% K rate, 125 average against his last couple starts.
Yeah, I'll have some DeGrom. I don't think I'll fade him completely.
That's fair. 2 guys in this game, not really looking to pitch or stack against, Garrett Cole and Ben Lively. We looked at Cole just for the matchup. He's been playing better as of late. 22% K rate over his last couple starts, 254 average against. He's keeping the ball on the ground too, more so. Under a 30% fly ball rate, which is good. Which is the season numbers right now. So that's a good sign. I think, again, do you stack against Lively? Probably not. He's not a great pitcher, but the Pirates aren't exactly a great offense. I looked to McCutchen again tomorrow. His price actually went down a little bit, down $200 on DraftKings. So, dude remains on fire. Gets a hitter's park in Philly. I have zero issue with playing him as a one-off tomorrow. If you want to go 2-man, I look at him and Freese if Freese plays. But, again, don't really want to stack here. Don't really want to pitch here. You share those sentiments?
Yeah, I think there's really no K upside at all with Blake Lively. He's been.
I think you do that on purpose now.
Oh yeah, completely. With Blake, he's just to stick to acting, but he's pitching now and he's giving it a go. So we gotta pat him on the back a little bit. I think Pirates are a good matchup. Then you got Cole, who's going to try and go out and do his best Jameson Taillon performance. It's gotta be kind of tough, when you're trying to follow up Jameson Taillon every day at this point, and Garrett Cole's going out there.
Could be motivation for him, though.
Could be. I think, Philly is an interesting play as far as the bats tomorrow. Freddie Galvis is hitting out of his mind. I think. I don't see any shortstop that I like more at this point, just because he's continuing to put up great production. Odubel Herrera was stumbling a lot. He now has a hit in 2 straight games, had multi-hit performance today at 2,500. That is
mad cheap.
Very cheap for a guy that struggles, gives up a lot of hard contact to lefties. So you look at a very, very cheap 2-man there to start. I'm just looking at the price is the reason I even look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with, most of the pitchers that we like today being high priced. So
I'm with you. We got Jason Aquino and Matt Garza going tomorrow. Aquino, not a huge sample size this year, but not exactly an all-star caliber guy anyway. And Milwaukee's mad hot. I don't know why you would fade them, in my opinion. I don't care if they're chalk tomorrow. Baltimore's pitching has been terrible all year. Their bullpen's not good, so if Aquino leaves, it's not like there's any worry. And lefty Jesus Aguilar might play tomorrow. Even if he doesn't and Eric Thames plays, Eric Thames has not struggled with lefties in terms of power, so you can go right back there. Shaw, same thing. I mean, this team hits both sides well. Manny Pena, absolutely on fire. Domingo Santana, Braun. BR probably leads off, not Sogard. So we'll change that. So, stack Brewers, man. That's that.
Mm-hmm.
Aquino's probably the number one guy, in my opinion, to attack tomorrow.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me a little bit about stacking against Aquino is that I'm looking at his minor league numbers. He does not give up many fly balls. His minor league fly ball percentage is this season it's at 32. Last season in AAA it was at 19%. He's only given up 4 home runs in 12 starts in the minors this year. He has made 1 spot start for the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it went very well. Let's see. Yeah, it did not. He went. Yeah, it didn't go well at all. So, just because the Brewers are hot, I think you have to kind of look there, and this guy's making a spot start. A lefty's going to shake up this lineup a lot. But yeah, I think you can go both sides. I don't think anybody's going to be on stacking Baltimore, and their prices are nice. Again, looking for cheap stacks with these pitchers. So
that's true. I didn't really think about that either, but I'm with you. So
they've been very cold. It's a tough one, but it's a buy low, I think, if you're trying to pay up a pitcher.
Yeah, especially in the ballpark. Now here's a guy. This is my one of my favorite pitchers tomorrow. He's gonna go. I think he'll get some ownership, but I don't think he's gonna be exactly the the guy everybody's on, and that's Trevor Bauer. Talk about the Padres and their struggles. Away versus righties, man. Their worst split, almost a 28% K rate. Trevor Bauer has plenty of strikeout stuff, 25.7% K rate on the year. He's doing a great job of limiting home runs and hits against him in his last couple starts. Padres are not a team I'm scared of. I love Bauer tomorrow, man. I think I might start every lineup with Bauer because of the upside and his price.
Yep, San Diego. That's the matchup, man. That is the matchup. Curveball is his out pitch. He carries a swinging strike rate of 14%, which is not bad, average.
No,
San Diego, I don't think hits the curveball well at all. Let me look at it real quick, but that's his out pitch. So if I'm looking at that, that's going to improve for his K upside. I mean, he's a sinker baller. We talked about with Jimmy Nelson. Sinker baller over K upside is a good recipe. We'll talk about it again later on with Alex Wood. So I agree. I think at this price for Trevor Bauer against the Padres I definitely want to give it a shot. You look at the Padres don't do many things well away versus righties. Yep. Very, very bad. 28%, 27% K rate. So
yeah, they're not good. Not good at all. So that's where I'm at. Looking at SF Detroit, Ty Block is another guy we're going to attack, man. Alex Avila probably not in tomorrow. You'll probably see James McCann. So we'll fix that. But Tigers crush lefties at home. They hold a 237 ISO at home versus righties. Doubles, wow. Home runs, you name it, they do lefties, it versus lefties. Ty Block does struggle versus righties, which is pretty much this whole lineup tomorrow. I love Nick Castellanos for the cheap. Justin Upton and JD Martinez are still underpriced for what they can do. I'll go right back to Ian Kinsler as well, who put up a dud today and let a ton of people down. So stack the Tigers. You might not see Miguel Cabrera. He left the game early today. We'll see where that is. But attack Ty Block tomorrow. And then for me, Daniel Norris is neither attack nor pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Norris, you're probably going to find a bomb off him somewhere in this lineup. Maybe. It is the Giants. They don't really do that very often. But yeah, Block, you look at that. You look at recently on the road versus righties, it all kind of adds up to a nice spot. So yeah, I think you can go right back here. I agree. I don't know. Do you play Vmar at 3,300? That's cheap first baseman. I mean, he hit a home run today. I think I'd rather
not against the lefty. Not against the lefty. I play him left-handed, not right-handed.
Worthy. I like it.
Houston, Atlanta. Houston was that stack today. Another two guys, man. Jaime Garcia is not the guy I necessarily want to attack. You can make the argument for it. Houston, does well versus lefties, especially on the road. They're a better away team than home team, weird, oddly enough. But and then Joe Musgrove, not a guy I necessarily want to attack either. But not a guy.
This is his first game back. Mm-hmm. So I think you're going to see some more bullpen work out of the Astros tomorrow. And exactly, they have a good bullpen. So it's good to see him back. I think get him back for the All-Star break, give him a start in here, and then some extra time to rest. I think that's definitely part of the plan. He is taking the place of Paulino, who got suspended for PEDs last week.
It didn't work either, by the way.
Yeah, I was going to say, it didn't really work much. And I think Charlie Morton's around the corner, too. So the best team in the American League getting even better. Not a good thing.
Feel it. Doug Fister, Andrew Kashner tomorrow. Another two guys, man. This talk about eliminating games. This is I think this is something we definitely try and do is eliminate games. We find our favorite stacks, our favorite pitchers to attack, favorite pitchers to play, and we kind of fade the rest and look for one-offs at most. Another game here, I think, Boston's mad hot. Kashner, again, he's not a guy that You know what? Okay, so let me put it this way. Kashner is someone that Boston could do well against from the standpoint of he is not a guy that gets blown up with home runs.
He's given up 5 home runs all year.
But he is a guy that has zero problem walking you and letting you go station to station. And that's exactly what Boston does. That's the only reason I see this matchup as a plus for Boston. Because you're not going to find a ton of bombs here. Moreland, Benintendi, two guys, maybe Betts, that I see that hit bombs. I don't know if I pay $5,600 for Betts, though. But this could be a spot if you find the guy that's going to drive in, the 3 base runners versus Kashner. But again, I don't think you can go 5 deep here.
Yeah, Kashner, again, he's only given up 5 home runs, but he's got a whip of 1.48. So stats to back up what you were just saying. I agree. You're gonna have to look. You're gonna have to look to try and find the guy that's gonna drive him home. So look to the middle of the order. whenever that lineup comes out.
Yep.
We also have Doug Fister in this game, the second coming of this guy.
Jesus, that just sounds... Doug Fister, second coming.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man.
I don't know if you caught that. God damn it.
LA, he had to start his first start against LA. It was a quality start. He went to Toronto in 5 innings, gave up 3 runs. So not terrible performances, but I don't know. I'd much rather go after Doug Fister than Andrew Kashner if I'm picking and choosing. But yeah,
I'm with you. I could see bats in both this game, but I don't know if I stack 5 deep either here. God damn it! the fact that
if Robinson Chirinos plays, he's in the lineup, right?
If he's in the lineup, yeah. I hope so.
I bet you they try and move Lucroy, honestly.
They fucking should, man. Fuck Lucroy. He's taking away time from the GOAT.
They probably will.
Chirinos is a Hall of Famer if he gets everyday starts.
Because I think they got to pay him in the offseason, so might as well.
Get rid of him, yep.
I feel like Texas is always so hesitant to make
trades.
Deal their guys, yeah.
Now, Santana. I got a great feeling about this guy, too, man. I am, like I mentioned, I'm going to start every lineup with Bauer. I think I'm going to start the second pitcher spot with Irvin Santana tomorrow. Those are my 2 favorite guys tomorrow. Love Irvin Santana with the narrative here. He gave up Albert Pujols 600, got kind of blown up in LA. Not kind of. He did get blown up.
Time, yeah.
He did get blown up in LA. No kind of about it. And he's not been exactly pitching lights out as of late. So I think he's going to get low ownership. I love the spot, love the narrative. I like the price. And I like the opponent. LA is not exactly a all-star team.
Yeah, the regression monster is biting Irvin Santana in the butt really hard right now. Multiple home runs in 4 out of his last 6 games. So it is a struggle.
He's a fly ball pitcher, but the one thing he wasn't doing is giving up that hard contact. And so the fly balls were weak fly balls. And all of a sudden, when you get some hard contact behind them, now they're driving over the fence.
Right. I mean, this isn't some blue chip. This is a guy that's been in the league for like a decade. So
yep.
We know these teams have in-depth scouting reports on Santana. They know what they're getting. He hasn't really changed up much. He keeps the ball low. He has movement on his fastball. He doesn't have a heavy break. Great changeup. So, we look at Santana. He's a very good StatCast guy because he's very good at late movement. That's why he gets such little hard contact, a lot of foul balls. He's got decent K stuff. But I think a lot of people are going to look at this, and you're going to see Santana under-owned tomorrow because of this recent performance, especially this last game in LA where he gave up 7 runs on 3 homers.
Yep.
So
I'm with you. And then
definitely a tournament pivot.
A guy to attack is Parker Bridwell, man. Twins stay hot. Kepler, Sano. I'll look at Dozier. I'll look at Mauer. Vargas, if you want to pivot off Mauer. Castro, cheap catcher. So depending on who plays tomorrow, I like a full twin stack here, pitcher and bats.
Yep, Twins stay hitting pretty well. So I would definitely go right back there. Oh yeah, and Kyle Gibson, he was just on that slide we just had. Mm-hmm. So I think Santana's will be all right.
That's what I'm saying. We got Volquez and Leak. Now Leak didn't make our top 5 to play because of other guys, but is worth noting. Pitching well as of late. Under 15% fly ball rate against him. So doing an exceptional job keeping the ball on the ground. Again, the upside is limited here because of his Ks. And you're banking on him going deep into games. And if he doesn't do that, you're not going to get a ton of upside here. So for that reason, not exactly the guy we want to play, but his price is mad cheap on DraftKings. FanDuel, no way I pay $8K for him, but DraftKings 6,400 at least deserves a look. And then Volquez, same thing. I don't know that I want to attack Volquez. Maybe find some one-offs here, but I don't think I go 4 or 5 deep on Cardinals tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, this is a solid case of cash GPP. Volquez obviously has his starts where he goes out and strikes people out and looks like unhittable. Whereas Mike Leake is, he's got 7 quality starts in his last 10 games. He's pitching to an ERA under 3 and a WHIP just over 1. He gets you length. He pitches to the 6th inning almost every start. Keeps the ball on the ground, like you said. Doesn't really strike anybody out. Does give up some walks, but definitely not a guy I'm trying to attack. And he's like a better version of Andrew Cashner.
That's fair. We got Cincy, Colorado, Scott Feldman, who is definitely worse on the road, and he's in Coors, not a good pairing. And then John Gray, who we don't know what we're going to get with him. We know there's upside with strikeouts, but again, it's in Coors, not a good matchup for any pitcher. Definitely not looking to play either guy tomorrow, but 2 quality pitchers, so I don't think Coors is the game stack tomorrow, not for the prices.
I'm just laughing because Homer Bailey only gave up 1 run in Coors, Colorado today. DFS, that's DFS for you. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think, let's see, looking at pricing here. I don't think that Coors is going, you look at, it's going to be interesting. Alex Wood against Arizona, DeGrom against Washington. The 2 highest priced pitchers are facing quality teams. So are people going to go look and stack Coors tomorrow, or stack, pay up for bats and kind of press their luck with mid-range pitching? Or are they going to try and roll the dice with some of these high-priced pitching?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the tale of the tape.
I'm with you. I think there's pay-up options for sure, but I think there are some pay-down options. But even so, if I pay down, I still don't think this is the game I stack. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if I'm going to stack, it's against Feldman and not
Gray.
Not Gray, yeah.
I'm with you. I can get behind that. Arizona, Los Angeles. Love me some Alex Wood tomorrow. For what it's worth, Arizona struggles mightily away versus lefties. They hold a almost 28% K rate, a 10% home run per fly ball rate, and a 201 average on the road versus lefties this year. Alex Wood remains absolutely dominant. He's given up, I think, 2 home runs all year, maybe 3. I don't have 2. There you go.
Yep.
A 122 average against him, a 194 WOBA, and a 33% K rate in his last couple starts. Under 20% fly ball rate, and under 13% fly ball rate at home this year. Absolutely dominant. You can make the case with A.J. Pollock back. Goldschmidt, Pollock, Owens all hit lefties well. But I give advantage to pitcher, and there's no way I can play Diamondbacks tomorrow personally.
Yeah, this guy has, again, we touched on it, he's a sinker baller. That's his fastball, has that late movement, and it's becoming very hard to hit. And then he couples it with a changeup that people have to prepare to also dive, but doesn't. The changeup currently has a batting average against of 143 this year. And you said only 2 home runs. You double that down, he's only given up 10 doubles. So that's 12 extra base hits all year. This guy's just been elite. He's 9-0 on the year. ERA of 1.83. Sinker curveball change. People might look at the last start against Arizona, him as being one of his worst, but that was his second start of the season. And he's changed quite a bit of things since then. So
the dude's elite.
You mentioned the numbers of Arizona away from Chase Field versus lefties. They become not a good team.
That's fair.
So I think Alex Wood over DeGrom for me.
Same. And then to touch on Zach Godley, been pitching really well of late as well. Pitching really late. Oh, never mind. Not a guy I'm going to attack, but not going to pitch again. I'm not going to take my chances against the Dodgers.
The one thing I will say about Wood is something that I said last night about Tyone, is that he doesn't get you length. Mm-hmm. They aren't going to let you get length out of him. They're both really young pitchers that they don't want. So no matter what, like saw Tyone today, he only pitched 5 innings. He struck out 8, but he only pitched 5 innings. And that's what you're kind of looking at with Wood tomorrow. So if you're thinking about, possible potential upside, like if DeGrom goes out and has his best game, it's going to outscore Wood's best game. I just think the potential for having a best game is much higher for Wood tomorrow.
I agree. And then finally, Kansas City, Seattle. We got Ariel Miranda and Jason Vargas. I know
the other StatCast dude.
Yeah, dude's a StatCast monster. Ariel has been fantastic at home this year, but the Royals are mad hot. They also hit lefties much, much better on the road. Mike Moustakas, another home run today. We talked about this Royal stack, man. This was going to be the low-owned stack, and it was. My best line had 4 deep on Royals: Merrifield, Hosmer, Moose, and Escobar. But
yeah, super low-owned. That was an extremely good call by you and us. I mean,
facts.
I hope you guys listened, because I know my best 2 lineups had that 3-man stack of Hosmer, Merrifield, and Moustakas. And you can go right back there. I mean, Ariel Miranda mentioned home road splits. Pretty drastic. He pitches much better at the home. He's probably been the Seattle's best pitcher. Whip of 0.91, 184 batting average against, 2.5 ERA at home, and it's pretty much the exact opposite on the road. Mm-hmm. Hasn't faced Kansas City this year. Vargas hasn't been bit as bad by the regression monster, but he's not putting up elite starts as of late. They're still quality starts. They're just not what we were seeing earlier in the season.
Yeah, it is, for what it's worth. Seattle is still not exactly a great team versus lefties, so Vargas makes for an interesting play. Definitely not stacking against him, but K upside worries me a little bit. And then Miranda, I really don't know where I'm going here yet, man. I think I'm going to wait for this lineup to come out for KC, which is going to be hard because it's the latest game of the slate. So I hope we get it before lock, but I'm really torn right now. Do I ride the hot bats here, or do I'm not going to pitch Miranda against KC, but I'm trying to decide if I'm going to fade or play, because they're hot, dude. They are hot. They love playing on the road.
I mean, for what it's worth, Miranda does give up bombs. I mean, he's given up 18 home runs already this season, 7 of them at home in that ballpark. So I think, you have that fail-safe if you play, I don't know if you stack here, but if you play 2-man stacks, like I think Merrifield and Moustakas makes for a good 2-man stack tomorrow. I don't know that the lefty of Moustakas, I feel great about riding that hot streak against the other lefty, but maybe Merrifield and Perez, but
I'm with you, man. So guys, we're looking out for the main. Jacob deGrom, Alex Wood, Trevor Bauer, and Irvin Santana. Guys, we're looking to attack Ty Block, Jason Aquino. Why am I blanking right now? Parker Bridwell.
To attack?
Yeah, to attack. Parker Bridwell and Tanner Roark with the Mets.
Yeah. Them dudes. Yeah, Tanner Roark, what has happened, man? Remember how I prayed for him to just, be good for one more time?
And he wasn't. That was a bad idea.
Yeah, he wasn't, dude. So, dang.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, appreciate it, as always, listening to us. Real quick, just while we wrap it up, here are your free roll results.
Yeah, I just want to just preface this, you guys, what we're going to try and do is, at the end of every show, we're going to show the leaderboards. So, what you're seeing now is the DraftKings leaders. We talked about how we have a free roll, and it is a competition. There's a scoring, I guess, there's scoring involved.
Mm-hmm.
On the left, you see the top 20 from the start of the season till now, and then on the right, you see the segment 6 leaders, and that started 2 slates ago. So,
still got time.
As you can, you still got plenty of time to take down the segment. So, if you win a segment, you earn a seat into the bracket challenge. Get in there, get your teams in, and get like we said, use it wisely to try out some new strategies. So we're gonna do this hopefully every day on the show, so you guys can see where you guys stand.
True. And of course, if you guys would like to join the Phenom, get access to all these sheets, that wonderful community, hit guys up, see what's going on, how they're winning. Hit that link down below. Of course, you get that 7-day free trial. No harm, no foul there. I think you'll enjoy it and want to stick around. But, it's in there for your convenience.
Absolutely. Definitely give it a shot. What do you got to lose?
Exactly.
I have a feeling, though, Kyle, this is just going to fuel the friendly competition by adding these leaders to the show.
Yep.
Some more bragging rights. So
yeah, you can see that MHM3790 is actually on the bottom of this FanDuel.
Hey, this is FanDuel, man.
Yeah, so I don't know who that is, but my guess is Michael H. Malevi. Just a guess.
That's
there.
me.
At the bottom right now. So.
Yeah, this is my FanDuel. Hey, at least I'm in the top 20 in FanDuel, dude. That's an accomplishment to me.
Absolutely. All best of the worst, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I guess something like that.
So, appreciate it, guys. Love the support. Appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful day or night. Hope you had a wonderful 4th of July. And let's make Wednesday a profitable one.
Yes, sir. Happy Wednesday.